Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1977 National League day-by-day playthrough in Inside Pitch, where I pick a game of the day and sim everything else on the Strat-O-Matic computer. But the game of the day on April 10th, 1977 finds us at Wrigley Field, the New York Mets and the Chicago Cubs. It'll be Rick Reuschel on the mound, a 20-game winner for the Cubs, and he'll be facing left-hander John Matlack of the Mets. There you see the starting lineups and benches and bullpens for both teams. They are all right there for you. And I believe we are about ready to go here on this Sunday morning. Was going to do this Sunday night, but had a little bit of time and felt like doing it. So that opens up tonight possibly for another Strat-O-Matic game. So you play more games? Why not? That's the whole purpose of the hobby, is to play the games. So we are ready to get going. Lee Mazzilli will lead things off for the Mets. Center fielder Lee Mazzilli. Hello, Brian B. Good to see you. Waiting for RJL to show up with his Mets on the tube. We'll see if he shows up or not, maybe later on. But we're underway, regardless. 2-4 for Rick Reuschel, and that is a strikeout chance, and that's a 1. I know it gets RJL gets on me for needing a new D20 red, and I probably do, but right now I don't. So, but this one is a 1, so that will be a strikeout. It does fit. All the other numbers on the D20 are fine. Just that number 1, the paint or whatever it is, got scratched out. Maybe because I roll 1 so often, it probably wore itself out. But it is a 1. And Rick Reuschel gets the strikeout. Here's Felix Millan, Felix the Cat Millan, if you will. 1-5, and that's a pitcher result. 1-10 against a right-hander's automatic out, but that's an 18, so we go to Millan to finish. 1-4, it's a power result to left field against right-handers, goes to 14. That's a 13. That is a triple for Felix Millan. Look at it again. 1-4 is a power result to left. Coming up here against the right-hander, it goes to 14. That is a 13. That falls in the 13 to 14 category for a triple. So Felix the Cat Millan with a triple. Hello, Parallel. Felix Millan triples. And with 1 out, they're going to bring the infield in. They don't give up a cheap run if they can avoid it. Here's John Milner, the left fielder. Nothing on the strategy. Millan's not going to try to steal home or anything like that. That would be kind of risky, I would say. So Reuschel to Milner. 5-4, and that is a blank. We go to Milner's card. 1-5, that's a fly to right field, possible sacrifice fly. His sacrifice fly rating is a 2. And a successful sacrifice fly for John Milner. Second out of the inning, but the run scores. And that's how you manufacture a run right there. You get a triple and a sacrifice fly. Milner, great situational hitting. Knew a fly ball would get it done, particularly with the infield in. So he just bypassed the infield and hit a sacrifice fly. That's what you're supposed to do. That's good fundamental baseball. And now with 2 outs and the bases empty, here is King Kong Kingman. 5-5, strikeout. 16, you know he's going to strike out. I mean, that's just what he does. If he doesn't hit home runs, he strikes out. But the Mets do get a run. Triple by Millan, sacrifice fly by Milner, and we got a 1-0 Mets lead after half an inning of play. And John Matlack coming out to pitch for the Mets. He'll be facing Ivan DeJesus, Jose Cardinal, and Larry Bittner. First 3 in the order for the Cubbies. That's a 4-1, and that is a blank to a righty. Would have been a home run straight up chance for a lefty, but not a righty. So we go to DeJesus. 6-6, it's a star 2, which is a ground ball to short. So ground out to the shortstop. Oops. Mr. Harrelson for out number 1. I dropped one of the cards. Didn't mean to do that. That'll bring up Jose Cardinal. Jose Cardinal. Hello, David. Good to see you. No, I do not play APA. That's one game I refuse to play. I played it and don't like it and think it's a waste, but that's just my own opinion. Other people like it. More power to them. It's just not for me. It's all how we. If you can roll doubles, you're going to do great. You can be a 100 hitter, but if you roll doubles, you're going to get hits. 1-1, possible error on a throw. So we go to Cardinal. 6-5, that's a single to center, so no throw to worry about. Base hit Cardinal. So Cardinal has an attempt of 2 to get the lead. That's a 5, he can't get it. So now we go to Larry Bentner, lefty on lefty matchup against Matlack. 6-6, that's the ballpark card going to Wrigley Field for the first time. 2-4, and that is a star 4, which is a ground ball to second base, possible double play. He's a 2. Matlack adds 1, makes it a 3. They're halfway, makes it a 4. The pivot at shortstop, Harrelson's a 0. So it's a 1-4 for a double play. That's a 6, so runner is going to advance. The only play was to first base, and Cardinal will take second base. So Mian bobbled a little bit, and by the time he realized what had happened, he had no play at the force play, so he quickly gets the slower running Bentner and gets the out. So 2 down for Bobby Mercer. That's a 1, but Cardinal, I don't believe, is going to try to steal third base. I mean, he could try it, but what's the point? He's already 2 outs. He's in scoring position already. It'd be kind of pointless. Now I forgot what the actual roll was. I'm getting too many games in my head. I'm thinking strategy roll or havoc roll for strat. So I'm going to re-roll this. That is a 1-3, which is an automatic out to the lefty. And the automatic out is going to be a ground ball to short. Ends the inning. 1-0 Mets after 1 here at Wrigley. If you've only done strat, then you are in better shape than most people that do this hobby. I'll just leave it at that. Although inside pitch, season ticket, payoff pitch are all wonderful games as well. Even Fall Classic has its perks. Maybe APA Master might be okay, but APA Basic is just too elementary for me. All right, here is Ed Kranepool. It's a 4-1, and that's a possible error. And it will be an error. 4-4 is going to be a single to center, plus that's a 1, so it's going to be an error because the center fielder, Morales, has an error rating of 3, but the 1 fits. So it'll be a single plus an error. Kranepool will reach first on the single, and he will take second on the error by Morales. And just like that, the Mets have a runner on second base. Hello, Ben. So runner at second, nobody out for John Stearns. 1-2, and that's a strikeout chance. Stearns strikes out at a 9. That's a 19, too high. Go to Stearns. 6-2 is a ground ball to second. That will get the runner to third with only 1 out. And the infield will have to come in once again for Roy Stager. Stager. I call him Stager. I don't know if it's actually Steiger or what, but I just always called him Stager. I don't know what the official pronunciation is. All right, so infield is in. That's a 1, but nothing's going to happen on that. Again, you're not going to have Ed Kranepool is not going to try to steal anything, so especially not home. So Reuschel to Stager. 4-4, and that's a range play. Now, the infield is in, so you're going to lose 2 on your range in the infield if it's a ground ball to the infield. But it could be a range play for the outfielder as well. 4-5, that's a liner to first. So we're checking the range of the first baseman, Bentner. He's a 5, but with the infield in, he drops to a 3. So it's a 1-3. and he can't get it. Had the infield been back, he would have caught that liner, and the runner would have had to hold, but you had to play in. I mean, you had no choice. So we'll get by him for a base hit. Let's see here if we check for a double or not. I think we do. Let's see here. L3, failed range play on an L3. Says number 3. That doesn't even make any sense on this chart, so that's definitely wrong. Let's see here. I'm just going to say it's a base hit. It's L3, or past the first baseman. To me, it's just a single. I'm not going to complicate things. Charts are not infallible, so, but it's 2-0 favor of the Mets. Steger's attempt is a 2. He's not going to go anywhere. And here's Bud Harrelson, 1 out and a runner at first. 2 are in this ball game. 2-0 Mets. 4-5, and that is a blank to a. I'm sorry, switch hitting Harrelson bats left, so it's a walk plus. He walks at an 8. The plus makes him an 18. Stadium takes away 1 for a 17, but that 4 fits, and Harrelson will draw the base on balls, and that'll set up Matlack to bunt. Although he's not a very good bunter. Definitely not a good bunter. So let's let Reuschel pitch first, see what happens. Corners are in, 1-4. That's a range play at the park, but it's supposed to be a bunt. So to me, we're going to ignore that because you're trying to bunt. I'm not going to the ballpark on a bunt chart. So, but it is I'm going to ignore the range play totally because when you're declaring a bunt, mainly what you're looking for to see if there's a strikeout or a walk. If that doesn't happen, or an error chance, if that doesn't happen, but if it says straight range play, I do a range play on whoever he bunts it to. But this is range play at the park, and we're not dealing with the park, so we're going to go straight to the bunt at this point. Matlack is a 1 bunter, so let's see who's going to field it first of all. It's a 3, which means it's going to the first baseman, Bentner, Larry Bentner. And he needs a 1 to 8 to have a good bunt. That's a 3. It's a good bunt. So it's a good bunt by Matlack. It's just going to be a 3 unassisted sacrifice bunt. Moves the runners into scoring position now with 2 outs. But a very productive out by Matlack, helping his own cause. Matt's doing the fundamental things to take the lead in this game. All right, here is Mazzilli. Chance to drive in 2. He struck out his first chance. 3-3 is a strikeout here. 10 is too high. So go to Mazzilli. 6-6, ground ball to first, and that's going to end the inning. Bentner will take it to the bag himself. The Mets get a run, but that's all they get. Could have been worse. Cubs are fortunate to only be down 2-0, as they have not played well at all. Matlack will come out and face Morales, Ontiveros, and Mitterwald, the scheduled hitters. Hello, Midlife. Good to see you. I don't have any pink colored dice, so don't have anything to do there. I'm just going to play it out. I know on Mother's Day they do a lot of the pink bat stuff or whatever. I'm kind of over the pink thing myself. I mean, it was cute there for a while, but you know. But I'll just leave it at that. All right, here's Morales. 2-2, and that is the ballpark card. Wrigley Field. 4-4, and that's a ground ball to third. Easy play by Steger, and there's one away. That'll bring up Steve Ontiveros. They have gone overboard, and when I see the football players wearing pink, I was like, forget it. Let the cheerleaders wear pink. The football players do not need to be wearing pink. I'm sorry. And I think we're all aware that cancer exists. I don't think we need awareness for that. We all know it exists. You want to give to research, that's great, but wearing pink doesn't help the research, okay? It's just symbolic. Symbolism over substance, as Rush Limbaugh used to say. Here's Matlack, 4-5. Switch hitter batting right-handed is a blank. 6-1, star 2, ground ball to short. 2 down. Here is Mitterwald. 1-4, strikeout, 5, got him. And I could very well celebrate Mother's Day for myself because I've been called a mother a few times in my life. So I could always embrace that for my own self if I need to be. 2-0. We go to the top of the third. David, I don't play it on the computer. I use the computer to track my stats and sim games, but I don't sit there. If I'm going to play strat, it's going to be cards and dice solely. Unless I have something on the computer that they don't have the dice for, that they don't have cards for. And I think there's a couple seasons I might have on the computer that I don't have dice for. So I might do it that way. But normally the computer is simply just a tool to keep stats and sim games. All right, here's Felix Mian. He tripled and scored his first time up. 2-3, and that is a strikeout chance, 5. But look how low his strikeout numbers are. He is not going to strike out. 6-3, and that's against a right-hander. It's a ground ball to short. So DeJesus makes the play. 1 down for John Milner. Sacrifice fly his first time up. That's a 6-6. That's a strikeout chance, but 13 is going to be too much, and Milner will get to swing it. 2-3, and that's a fly to left field. Out number 2. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. I'm not sure where RJL is, but if he does come in, I'll allow him to manage the Mets. I always like to do that for people I know are fans of certain teams. I will let them manage their team. All right, here's Kingman. 1-4. That's a range play at the park. We're going to Wrigley Field for a range play. And we get a 5-6. That's a double to left field, but it is a range play. Left fielder for the Cubs is Cardinal. He's a 3. He can take away this double with a 3, with a 1, 2, or a 3. He does not. The double will stand. Kingman cracks a 2-out double. And that'll set it up for the veteran Ed Kranepool. Runner in scoring position. Hello, Craig. Good to see you. 5-5. Strikeout. 5. Too high. Kranepool only strikes out at a 4. 4-3, and that's a fly to center to end the inning. So nothing doing there. Mets still lead at 2-0 going to the bottom of the third. It'll be Trio, Reuschel, and DeJesus due up for the Cubbies. Trio, number 8 hitter. Pretty good number 8 hitter, hitting 280. Probably deserved to hit probably more of a number 2 hitter than an 8 hitter, but that's where they have him. Hello, Philip. Good to see you. And Doug. Doug, I just can't help it. When I saw your name, Doug, come up the first, and I don't know why this popped in my mind, but I started thinking about the insurance commercial for Liberty Mutual because it's Emu and Doug. So we don't have an Emu here, but we got a Doug. All right. You see that commercial so many times, it's annoying. It just kind of gets on your head, sort of like Flow. 2-5, and that's a wild pitch, which is a ball. And, of course, the new thing now is to not re-roll on the pitcher card, but go to the batter card. So I'm going to treat it as a blank and go straight to Trio. 6-6, single to center. So Trio with a base hit. That will allow Reuschel to attempt a bunt. First of all, we'll check strategy roll. Make sure there's no pickoffs. They're not. And now Reuschel is a 3. Corners are going to come in, make him a 2. So we'll roll and see, make sure there's no strikeout or walk or whatever. 5-4 is a strikeout chance, but the strikeouts are cut in half, so he will not strike out. He will get the bunt. The bunt is going to go to, let's see, with a 3 here, it goes to the first baseman, Kranepool. And now as a number 2 bunter, he basically needs a 1 to 10 to have a good bunt. That's a 12, and that's a foul. So he's going to foul it off. 2-strike count. He's going to try to bunt again. Now, if it fails again, he strikes out. But they figure it's worth it. Tabby the fluffy cat is downstairs. Now, I'm not sure. I don't think I've had this result in a while. Redo attempt to foul off. All right, so redo attempt, which means we don't have to go through the whole rigmarole. We're just going to redo the attempt. But I'm going to say now that it goes to, it's still going to the first baseman. So he's again a 1 to 10. Replay the bunt part. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Redo the whole at bat? Is that what you're saying? Say check for strikeouts or whatever? Am I re-rolling everything? Okay, what I'm doing now. Okay. All right, so it's a 1 to 10. That's a 15, and that's the lead runner. So lead runner is thrown out. So it's going to be a 3 to 6 fielder's choice as Reuschel bunted it too hard, and Kranepool was able to throw it to Harrelson at short for the force play, and that was a failed sacrifice. And we'll flip it over now to the top of the order, Ivan De Jesus. Reuschel's certainly not going anywhere. 6-6, that's the ballpark card, going back to Wrigley Field. 2-5, ground ball to second, possible double play. He's a 2, plus 1's a 3, halfway is a 4. Pivot Harrelson is a 0. 1 to 4, we got a double play. And we do. So it's going to go 4-6-3, double play. And it did not turn out the way the Cubs wanted it, that's for sure. But the Mets are happy. Somewhere RJL is happy. And we go to the top of the fourth. And somewhere RJL would be saying the Wrigley Field crowd groans. Here's John Stearns. His name sounds too close to John Sterling, so I'm going to make sure I don't do anything with John Sterling. Here's Stearns. 5-3, and that's an automatic out. And the automatic out will be a ground ball to short. De Jesus makes an easy play, 1 away. Here's Steger. 4-5. 4-5 is a blank to a right-hander. So we're going to redo that for the Steger at bat. 3-5, and that's a ground ball to third. Ontiveros will make the play. 2 down. Tonight, assuming I get a chance to come on and do a game, it'll be the Royals and the Blue Jays from Kansas City in the 87 Strat replay. Jimmy Key against Bud Black, a couple of lefties. 1-1 ball. It's a wild pitch, so we can treat it as a blank and go to Harrelson's card. That's a 1-6 star 3 ground ball to second. So look at that, 6-3, 5-3, and 4-3 right there in order. 3 easy outs for Rick Reuschel. Hello, Bulldog. Good to see you. I believe actually Frazier, Walt, what's his name? Frazier, I think, is the manager early in the season. Joe Torre takes over kind of midway. I don't know if it's Clyde Frazier. I'm just trying to. That's a basketball player, I think. I know it's not. It could be Joe Frazier. I'm not sure what his first name was. I just know his last name was Frazier. All right, here is Cardinal. 5-2, hit by pitch. Way too high for that. Yeah, Walt was the NBA player. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking Joe Frazier was the name of the manager. 1-4 star 2 was a ground ball short. I can always look it up real quick. Yeah, same name as the boxer. That's what I thought. All right, so Larry Bintner. Lefty on lefty. 2-2 ballpark card going to Wrigley Field again. 5-1 ground ball to third. Steger makes the play. And could we have the exact same result in the bottom of the inning that we got in the first inning? Look at it, 6-3, 6-3, 5-3, 5-3. So if Bobby Mercer grounds out to Felix Millan, we'll have an identical play here, identical inning, if he does that. And he does have some G4s on his card. 5-3, he also has a strikeout on his card, and he will strike out. So that ends that. Matlack, that's his second strikeout. 4 innings in the books. It's still 2-0 Metropolitans. So we go to the fifth. Reuschel will be facing Matlack to lead off. I have to resist the temptation to call him Matlock, like the TV show with Andy Griffith. All right, he had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. 3-3, and that is a strikeout chance, and he is out of there. For Reuschel, that is strikeout number 3. Top of the order, Lee Mazzilli. 6-3, and that is a range play. So we're going to Mazzilli for the range check. 1-3. It's a single to center, but it's a range play on Morales. But he's only a 2. So 1-2, he takes the hit away. He does. So Morales steals, robs Lee Mazzilli of a hit for out number 2. Here's Millan. 6-1, possible error on a throw, if a throw is necessary. 2-5, but it's a fly to left, so no throw necessary, no error. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Still 2-0 Mets. And it'll be Jerry Morales who made that nice running catch. He will lead off the inning. (5-2). That's a hit by pitch, but he's a -4, so that's not going to happen. Morales will swing it. 6-3, star 2 is a ground ball to short. Bud Harrelson has been active. He has, 5 assists, I think? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's his 6th assist for Bud Harrelson. So Matlack's had the ground ball working. Matlack, 4-5, and that is a blank because Ontiveros is a switch hitter batting right-handed, so that treats as a blank. We go to Ontiveros. 1-1, liner to third, snagged by Stager, 2 down. Here's Mittelwald. 6-3, strikeout chance 2, got him. Struck him out. 3rd strikeout for Matlack. So 5 innings are in the books. Still 2-0 Mets. Cubs can't get anything going off of Matlack. For whatever reason, they just can't get anything going here. They have 2 piddly singles, and that's it. John Milner will lead it off for the Mets, followed by Kingman and Cranepool. There's Mr. Robert. His ears must have been burning. I was wondering where he was during this Met game. Mets are up 2-0. And to recap, Robert, if you came in late, Felix Millan, second batter of the game, tripled, and then Milner brought him in with the sacrifice fly. Cranepool singled and went to second on an error by the center fielder Morales. Then a ground ball to second put him to third. Infield was in, but it didn't matter because Stager got a base hit. And that's where we stand. We're all caught up. 5-1, blank to a lefty. Go to Milner. 4-1, ground ball right back to Reuschel. Easy play, 1 away. And here's Kong Kingman. He doubled his last time up. 6-2, that's a walk chance. He's a 10, but he only walks out of 7. Stadium even takes 1 away, so that's too high. Go to Kingman. 2-6, it's a star 1, which is a ground ball to Bittner. He'll go to the bag himself, 2 down for Ed Cranepool. 4-1, and that is a possible error. 6-5, liner to second, but Millan, that's a 15, and I'm sorry, not Mian. Trio's only a 9, so he will make the catch. And I'm not even sure. I think you can't even have an error on a line drive to second, as far as I remember. You only have a range play on a liner to second, not an error. So it wouldn't have mattered either way. There is no error on a line drive. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. And Matlack continuing his good pitching. We'll be facing Trio, Reuschel, and Mazzilli. And since you're here, Robert, like I told everybody else, if you want to manage some of the, when we get down to needing, relief pitchers or bullpen or pinch hitters, I'll defer to you since you are a Mets fan. I'll let you pick those things out whenever you need it. You just let me know. 4-3, and that is a strikeout plus to a lefty, but to a righty, it's a blank. So we go to Trio. 6-1, single to left. So Trio's 2 for 2. His attempt is a 2. Nothing's happening. But Reuschel will bunt again. 4-3. Again, that's a blank. So Reuschel becomes a 2 bunter. The bunt's going to go to the third baseman, Steger. And again, he needs a 1 to 10 to have a good bunt. 13, that's not good. That's going to be the lead runner again. So the second time in a row that he has hit the bunt too hard and has turned into a fielder's choice against the lead runner. So Reuschel not able to help his cause with a bunt. That's what you got to do, Robert. I mean, if things aren't, that's kind of why I kind of ditched the history maker thing for at least a little while, because that wasn't getting, that wasn't a popular thing. People would rather see other things. So just the way it is. All right, so here is DeJesus. 4-3, and that's a blank again. 4-4, ground ball to third, possible double play. He's a 2 plus 1 there, makes it a 3. They're halfway, makes it a 4. Second baseman Mian's a 0. 1-4, and we got a double play. It's a 6, runner advances. So Reuschel will actually take second base, and the only play for Steger ends up being going to first base. So there's 2 away with Reuschel, the slow-running pitcher, at second base. And here's Jose Cardinal. 3-4, and that is again a blank to a righty. 6-6, that's a ground ball to third. Steger will make the play again, and the inning's over. So John Matlack, 6 shutout innings, leading the Mets to a 2-0 lead through 6. See, has stymied the Cubs. Do it for the Mets. It'll be Stearns, Steger, and Harrelson. (6-4), and that's the ballpark card going to Wrigley Field for the at-bat of John Stearns. 6-3, it's a power result to left field. That's an 11. That's a home run possibility, but we still have to check and see if Stearns qualifies. He does on the ballpark card. It's set up for a home run. Power result to left, 11-13. That's an 11. So now Stearns against the right-hander is a 1-12. And it's not going to get it. So Stearns, since it's on the ballpark card, it's just a deep fly to left. There is no reroll on that like it is on his own card. It is just a fly to left field to end his at bat. And here's, hello, Jeremy. Good to see you. Whoa, Suadice again. How does that happen? 6-5 is a blank. We go to Steger. 5-5, and he's going to ground it to short. DeJesus is there. 2 down for Buddy Harrelson. 5-3, and that is a blank because he's switched here batting left. It turns into a blank, not an automatic out. 5-3, ground ball to third. It's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the seventh. We're rolling along here from Wrigley Field. Wind must be blowing in. That's all I can figure. Wind is blowing in, apparently. But we are at the seventh inning stretch. And that means take me out to the ball game. You are correct, Chuck. Mr. Harry Carey was in Chicago for the White Sox, but Jack Brickhouse was the announcer, I believe, in '77 for the Cubs. And there's no truth to the rumor. That's where the the Commodores got that song from. It was not named after Jack Brickhouse, I assure you. All right, so Matlack facing Bintner. 3-2. That's a possible error. And if the Cubs hit a home run, I will try to do a hey, but it's just in honor of Jack Brickhouse. But we're looking for an error right now. That's a 1. There will be an error. 3-1. Single to right plus an error. So the error will be on the right fielder, Kingman. So Bintner gets a single, and Kingman boots it to allow him to go to second base to start the inning. Not a good sign there. Here is Mercer. 3-6, strikeout 1, and again the 1 shows up, struck him out. That's why there's no paint there, because I roll 1 so many times it gets abused. No matter what color D20 I have, the 1s show up about 15% of the time. Here's Matlack facing Morales. 1-4, strikeout again, but 20's too high. We go to Morales. 6-4, and that's against a lefty. That's a single pass first base. Let's see if Bintner can score. On an S3, to score from second, you need a 4 or higher. Bintner is only a 3, so he has to stop at third base. Runners are at the corners with 1 out. And RJL, if you want me to warm up a bullpen arm or think about, or you want to stick with Matlack, I guess we're going to stick with Matlack at least a little bit longer. He's got a 2-0 lead. I'm assuming in this situation you would play for the double play and not infield in because you got a 2-0 lead. Stay with John. All right. Ontiveros, a switch hitter, steps to the plate. That's a 2-5, and that's a wild pitch chance. That's a 16, though, so there's no wild pitch, so we go straight to Ontiveros' card. Double play depth. 4-5, and that's a single to left field for Steve Ontiveros. Scoring is Bentner. Morales only runs at a 2. Single to left to get to third base. You lose 2. That makes him a 0. And the left fielder, Arm Milner, is a +2. But I believe RJL has a thing where if the runner goes to 0, no matter what the arm is of the outfielder, you don't advance. So I kind of like that little homebrew myself. Plus, they're down by a run, so it doesn't make any sense for him to take a chance at that point. All right, here's George Mitterwald, and I'm assuming we're still sticking with Matlack. 2-1 game now. Double play depth. 1-5, blank to the righty. Go to Mitterwald. 2-1, fly to left field. That's out number 2. And again, Morales on the fly to left, you're going to lose 3 trying to get there. That makes him a -1. So again, he's not going to go anywhere. And now we're at Manny Trio. Matlack can face 27 batters. This is batter number 26. So he's still in good shape. Having to deal with Trio, who has gotten 2 hits off of him. 5-1 strikeout, 17 too much. We go to Trio. 5-5. That's a fly to center, and the inning's over. Cubs get a run, but that's all they get. It's 2-1 after 7. And that probably is going to be all from Matlack. He does lead off the inning coming up, and he's 1 batter away from fatigue in a 2-1 ball game. So I'm assuming, RJL, you would want me to pinch hit at this point because Matlack is the leadoff man. So I don't know, but if you want Matlack to hit, he's a 060 hitter. If you want him to hit, leading 2-1, but he is going to be tired after he faces a pinch hitter for Reuschel. He will be tired. So if you want me to pinch hit, okay. Looking at their bench, they have Beauclair, Hodges, and Phillips from the left side. So I don't know who looks good to you on that one. Let me show the card so you can see the averages. Beauclair is 293. He seems like he looks like he has the most at bats as well. So he seems to be the logical choice here. Hodges is 265 and Phillips 225. So I'm assuming Beauclair would be the guy. So I'm going to pinch hit with Beauclair. And then we'll figure out the bullpen in the bottom of the inning based on what the score is. If they increase the lead, if they don't get the lead, whatever the case may be. So Bruce Beauclair will be the pinch hitter here in the 8th inning for Matlack. Matlack's going to go 7 innings. Let's clean up Matlack's numbers. 7 innings. He gives up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got him for 6 hits, 1 run, and despite the error, that run would still be earned. Let's see. Did he walk anybody? He did not walk anybody. And he didn't strike out many either, just struck out 4. So that's the number on Matlack, and he would qualify for the victory if the Mets hang on and win it. So Beauclair will be the pinch hitter against Rick Reuschel. Reuschel can face 28 batters. This is batter 27, so the Cub bullpen has also got activity in it. And let's see who they're going to use out of their bullpen. Looks like Rick's brother Paul is loosing in the bullpen for the Cubs. Not going to bring in Suter when they're behind. So Beauclair pinch hitting against Reuschel. 2-6, possible error on a ground ball. Beauclair, 6-3, star 2, ground ball to first. Possible error, but that's a 14. And Bentner is only a 7, so it's good play. 3-1 as Bentner flips to Reuschel covering. And Beauclair is retired. Back to the top of the order for Lee Mazzilli. Mazzilli is 0 for 3 in this one. One, 2, And that is a strikeout chance. He is not tired. This is batter number 28, so he is not tired until the next batter. So that strikeout is still good, or the chance for a strikeout is still good, but 12 is too high. 4-5, and that is a fly to center field. Out number 2. Now he is tired. So if he gets a parentheses roll, he will have to come out of the game. Felix Millan, your batter. 1-1, ball. It's a wild pitch, so we go straight to Millan's card. 6-2, star 3, ground ball to second, and that's going to do it, and that'll be all for Reuschel. Reuschel will go 8 innings, give up 2 runs, and despite this error, they're both going to be earned. See how many hits? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just 4 hits for the Mets, but they made them count. Got them clustered all in here. They haven't had a base runner since the 3rd inning. Walks and strikeouts, he walked 1. And he struck out not that many, just 3. So, Rick Reuschel, we will get a pinch hitter for Rick Reuschel, but we need a pitcher for the Mets. And let's see who Mr. RJL might want to bring in for the Mets. You have 2 righties. You have Bob Apodaca. You have Nino Espinosa. And you have Skip Lockwood, their closer. And then you have 2 lefties, Bob Myrick and Ray Sadecki. So my leaning on this one is to go to Lockwood. He is the closer, and 2 innings in 1977 is nothing for a closer. So I'm going to intend to go that way unless RJL wants to overrule that. I was going to go with Lockwood. But if Lockwood's good with you, it's good with me. Okay, Lockwood it is. So it will be Lockwood. Cubs need a pinch hitter. So let's look at their bench and see who they've got. Paul Reuschel will be coming in to pitch for the Cubs in the 9th inning. He will be their pitcher in the 9th. So let's look at the Cub bench. Righty on the mound. They only have 1 switch hitter, and that's Joe Wallace. He's a .250 hitter. So he's certainly a possibility. Gene Clines is a .293 hitter, but does much better against lefties. Let's see. Mike Gordon's a switch hitter, not very good. Greg Gross, actually. But I don't have him on my roster. I wonder if he was on the roster or not. Maybe he was on the roster. I just forgot to list him. Let me double check the roster here let me look at the Strat computer real quick. I don't want to use Greg Gross unless he was actually on the roster. So I need to verify that real quick. I may have just missed not putting him on the sheet here, but I think he was on the roster. I've got him there for some reason. So if he's on the roster, I'm definitely going to use him. So let's see if he's officially on the Mets or the Cubs roster, rather. Let's see here. That was on the 10th. Okay, here. See if he shows up on their bench. According to the Strat computer, is he eligible? And we are talking about Gross. Yes, he is. So Greg Gross will be the pinch hitter. I don't even list it there, but he is listed on the Strat computer as on the roster. So Greg Gross will be the pinch hitter. Greg Gross. He will pinch hit in the bottom of the 8th against Skip Lockwood. Lockwood looking for the 6-out save. And Paul Reuschel will come in and pitch for the Cubs. And Lockwood is used for the Mets. All right. Greg Gross is up, pinch hitting. Greg Gross, the pinch hitter. Lockwood, 3-1, and that's a wild pitch, so we're going straight to Gross's card. 3-4, and that is a single to left field, and once again, the brilliant managing brings in the right pinch hitter for the occasion, and he gets a base hit. He runs at a 3. Let's see if there's anybody faster. Gene Klein's runs at a 4, but I like to keep him available to pinch hit in the future, so I don't want to burn him just yet. Everybody else runs at a 3, so we'll keep Gross in the game as a number 3. He has no attempt to steal, so we're not worried about stealing. But Greg Gross is at first base with nobody out. DeJesus is a 4 bunter, so he is going to be looking to lay down the bunt. Strategy roll, and he gets the 19 to bunt. How about that? Lockwood will pitch it, 3-3, and that's a blank, so we go straight to the bunt chance for DeJesus. That's a 5, and that means the bunt is going to be fielded by the third baseman, Steger. DeJesus is now a 3 bunter because the corners are in, so he needs a 1 to 12 to have a good bunt. 14 is not a good bunt. They get the lead runner once again. That's the third time that the Cubs have failed on the bunt. So it's a 5-4 fielder's choice. DeJesus is your new runner at first, but they are not doing the fundamentals the way the Mets did. That's why the Mets are winning. The Cubs are lacking in the fundamentals. They can't get the job done. Now, DeJesus' attempt of 4. They can't go anywhere. So that will bring up Jose Cardinal, the left fielder. He's 1 for 3. But we might get a pinch hitter for Cardinal. So let's look on the bench, see who they might want to bring in. Cardinal is playing left field. So I think we're going to go to Gene Klein's, even though as a righty, he's the best average hitter they have. So Gene Klein's will take over to pinch hit, and he'll stay in the game to play left field as well. He's a 3, and they're pretty much the same. Maybe slightly better as Klein's because he has a 0 arm versus a +1. So Gene Klein's will pinch hit in a big spot. Big spot coming up. War Game unboxing, okay. All right, Lockwood to Klein's. 2-2 is a blank. We go to Gene Klein's. 4-2, and that's a ground ball to second, possible double play. He's a 2-0. The pivot at short, Harrelson's a 0, but the infield is halfway for a 3. So it's a 1-3 for a double play. And they turn the double play to end the inning. How about that? 4-6-3 double play. Ends the inning. And if you're curious, Jose Cardinal would have grounded to third. It would have been the same result because he has even a higher ground ball double play number. So that was a Kobayashi Maru no-win situation. Didn't matter what I did, they were going to fail. So you can be the most brilliant manager in the planet, but if you're playing with pawns and everybody else has rooks and knights, you're in trouble. All right, top of the 9th we go. Paul Reuschel is your new pitcher for the Cubbies. And he'll be facing Milner, Kingman, and Cranepool. Robert, is that something you would stream on your channel, or those war games do they last too long where it would be like a 3-hour? And I know you said you had limited table space too, so I'm not sure if that's something you just do on your own or whether you would actually stream that. Close to Brian B. Let me check the schedule real quick. On April the 11th, this is the April 10th game. April the 11th, we have the Braves and the Dodgers. April the 12th, we have San Francisco, San Diego. And April 13th, Cincinnati's at Houston. Jack Billingham against Joaquin Andujar. So, yes, they are a few days away from being on the board. Just to answer your inquiry, that is the case. They will be on the board in a few games. All right. So we now have Milner facing Reuschel. 3-2, and that is a possible error on a ground out. Milner. 1-1, and that's a double to center field. A double to center by Milner. There is not going to be an error because that's a 19, but it is a leadoff double for Milner. Here is Kingman. 4-6 is a blank. We go to Kingman. 3-5, and that's a single pass short. How about that? Back-to-back hits off of Paul Reuschel. S6 to score from second, you need a 3 or better. There is a 3, so he will score, and the Mets get an insurance run, leading it now 3-1, and that's going to be it for Reuschel. They're going to take him out of there. He didn't have it. He just did not have it. He's going to give up 2 hits and a run, not get anybody out, and they will turn to Willie Hernandez out of the bullpen. Left-hander Willie. Guillermo, don't call me Willie Hernandez. So he will be the pitcher coming in for the Cubbies against the left-hander Cranepool. Hernandez to Cranepool. 4-3, and that is a range play. Infield is halfway, keep in mind. 6-4 is a power result to left field. It goes 1-14. That's a 17, so that's a deep fly to left, but it is a range play. So the left fielder in this case is Kleins. He's a 3. 1-3, he takes this hit away. He does not. Is it a single or a double? It is a single to left field. That's going to put runners at first and second. Nobody out for John Stearns. Cubs starting to let this thing get away from them. 1-3, strikeout 18 is too much. 3-1, that's a star 5. Ground ball to short, possible double play. He's a 3. -1 is a 2. Back to halfway makes it a 3. Pivot at second trio is a -2. Wow, I didn't realize he was such a bad double play. That doesn't even sound right. Trio's always been a good fielder. How in the hell did he get a -2 pivot rate? That's terrible. So let's look at it again. 3 -1 is a 2. -2 on the pivot's a 0. Halfway is a 1. So the only way to turn double play is on a 1. And they do it anyway, despite that. So it's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. Going to third is Kingman. But there are 2 outs now for Roy Stager. Willie Hernandez to Stager. 1-2. That's a possible wild pitch, but so it's a possible pass ball. 16 falls in this pass ball category. So we look at Mitterwald. His pass ball rating is a 3. 1, 2, or 3, he blocks this. 4 or higher, we got a pass ball for a run. And that's a pass ball. The run's going to score. Shoddy defense by the Cubs gives the Mets a cheap run. It's now 4-1. And now strategy rolls are off. 5-2, ballpark card going to Wrigley Field for Roy Stager's at bat. 2-1, single to center. And now Willie Hernandez doesn't seem to be the answer either. Here's Bud Harrelson. Again, strategy rolls are now off. 6-3, and that's a blank to a switch hitter batting right-handed. Go to Harrelson. 5-6, ground ball back to Hernandez. The inning's finally over, but 2 runs come in for the Mets here in the 9th. And we go to the bottom of the 9th with a 4-1 ball game. 4-1 is the score. Lockwood back out to try to finish what he started on the save front. It'll be Bentner, Mercer, and Morales due up. The Mets will make one defensive change. Mike Vail will come in and play right field in place of Kingman, as he is a 5. defensively. Mike Vale. And they might need a defensive player in left field because Milner's pretty pitiful with a 1 range. Let's see if they got somebody in left field that can play left field besides Beauclair, who already pinch hit. No, I guess they're stuck with Milner. Looks like we're stuck with Milner. So the only change is going to be Vale coming in for Kingman. So it will be Vale playing right field. And Lockwood will face Bentner to start the bottom of the 9th of a 4-1 Mets lead. 4-3, and that is a strikeout chance. 9, too high. We go to Bentner. 3-2, fly to left field. I know RJL was looking for 9th inning magic on the Cubs side. He got 9th inning magic on the Mets side, but Lockwood 1-4. That's a blank to the lefty Mercer. Go to Mercer's card. 6-1, power result to center field. It goes to 11. That's a 10. It's a triple for Bobby Mercer. Mercer hits a triple. Look at it again. 6-1, power result to center. That's a 10. And 8-11 is a triple. So Bobby Mercer triples. Infield, of course, is back. They got a 3-run lead. So this run by Mercer is not important. There's Jerry Morales. Whoa, we're going to redo the whole thing because that white dye got stuck in there, and I want it to be uniform. 3-5, and that is a strikeout chance, but 19 is way too high for that. Morales, 2-5, single to left field. RBI single. And boy, now how important were those insurance runs in the 9th? Run comes in on the single by Morales. It's now a 4-2 game. Tying run is at the plate in Steve Ontiveros. RJL, if you want me to, anytime you want me to remove Lockwood, I will. He has faced, this will be batter face number 7. He will be tired after this batter. After Ontiveros, he will be tired. So we do have potentially Bob Apodaca or Bob Myrick, a lefty. Either one could be brought in, I would assume. Here's the pitch to Ontiveros. 6-1's a blank. We go to Ontiveros. 3-2. That's a star 1 fly ball to left. That's out number 2. Now Lockwood is tired, but the runner is only at first. So even if he got an S1, it would not score a run. So George Middlewald is your scheduled hitter, but look at the bench on the Cubs. They may go for another hitter. So Middlewald is only 238, even though he's got decent power. So we're going to go to a pinch hitter, Joe Wallace. Joe Wallace, the pinch hitter for Middlewald. And if it goes somehow to a 10th inning, they do have Steve Swisher who can catch. So Wallace is your pinch hitter. Lockwood is tired. So remember, if we hit one of these parentheses, he's got to come out of the game. So Wallace it is against Lockwood. 4-4, and that's the ballpark card going to Wrigley Field. Five, 6, that's a double to left field for Joe Wallace. A pinch hit double for Joe Wallace. Will Morales score? His run's not really important, so if they would play safe here probably. I don't think they would want to risk anything. There are 2 outs, makes him a 3, but a double to left field. Let's check it out real quick. Is a -1, so that would drop him back to a 2. And then the left fielder arm, Milner's a +2, makes him a 4. But still, if you make the last out there, you're toast. So they're going to hold him right where they are. Pinch hit double by Wallace. Lockwood is fatigued. Manny Trio is your batter, a 280 hitter. Wallace runs slowly, so they will have a pinch runner for Wallace because he only runs at a 1. So they will bring on, if they have anybody left. Yep, they do. They have Dave Rosello. He will pinch run for Wallace. He runs at a 3. So with 2 outs, he'd be a 4 and have a better chance to score on a base hit. So now the S1 single would tie the ball game. So we're going to bring in Bob Apodaca because an S1 single would be enough to tie the ball game. So Lockwood couldn't finish what he started in the save realm. So he will leave. And Bob Apodaca coming in for the Mets. 4 and 8, 5 saves, a 3.53 earned run, a 3.43 earned run average. Bob Apodaca. I believe he's now he was or still is a pitching coach somewhere. So Lockwood is going to go an inning and 2/3. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. So far, 1 run, but he's responsible for the other 2. And I'm not seeing any walks or strikeouts. So Manny Trio is on deck to hit. So Rosello is the pinch runner. So the pinch hitters, you're down to Swisher, Kelleher, and Gordon, and the pinch hitter would be on deck to pinch hit for the pitcher, Hernandez. So this is something here that I would do, Robert, but if you don't want to do it, I won't do it. Or with this, well, I'd still do it either way you go, but I'll leave the call to you. I would intentionally walk Manny Trio. I know it's the winning run, but he's a 280 hitter. He's got a better chance of singling in these 2 guys than any of the guys on the bench. So if you want to pitch to Trio, I will, but in my mind, I would intentionally walk Trio and force a bad pinch hitter up. But you can do what you like. If you don't like the idea of putting the winning run on base, we won't do it. We'll go ahead and pitch to Trio. Apodaca is on to pitch. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pitch to Trio. Apodaca. Strategy rolls are back on now. So Apodaca to Trio. 5-3, and that's the ballpark card going to Wrigley Field for Manny Trio. 5-6, it's a double to left field. 9th inning magic strikes again. That's why I play chess and he plays checkers. I would have walked Trio. Instead of giving up a better hitter, although it did come off the ballpark to be fair, so it really didn't matter at that point. Anybody would have gotten that hit, just to be fair. I do like to be fair. But we got a tie ball game. 3 runs come in. It is a 4-4 ball game. And now we got a pinch hitter for the Cubs. And it's going to have to be, they just don't have a whole lot. Mick Kelleher is the best hitter they have at 230. So we're going to use Kelleher. Kelleher, the pinch hitter, is up to the plate. Those runs are charged to Lockwood, so he's given up 3 runs in his stint of an inning and 2/3. A blown save on top of that for Apodaca. So now Apodaca has to regroup. Winning run is at second base in Manny Trio. He does run at a 3, so with 2 outs, he would be a 4. Apodaca will pitch to Kelleher. 1-1, and that's a blank. So we move on to Kelleher. 5-4, and that's a pop-up to second base, and we've got extra innings. Not what I was looking for on a Sunday. I was trying to get this game in quickly. And, of course, what happens when you try to do that? You run into extra innings. So now Bruce Sutter will be coming on for the Cubs. He'll be coming on to pitch. Coming in to catch is Steve Swisher. So the only guy left on the bench is Gordon for the Cubs. Pitcher spot's going to lead off Apodaca, so we need a pinch hitter for him also. So let's get all the peripherals out of the way. Hernandez was in earlier. So Hernandez gave up 2 hits. He went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. So Bruce Sutter is on to pitch, and now the Mets need a pinch hitter for Apodaca. They do have Joe Torre. They have Mike Vail, Hodges, Phillips. Whichever person you want to use, RJ. I'm assuming you don't use Grody. Well, they could use Grody because he got 3 catchers. So if you wanted to use Hodges, you still have Grody as a backup catcher. If you wanted to go that route. Everybody else is pretty much meh, as you say. Phillips is 225. Torre is 176. Foster is 227. So there's not a whole lot there. We are right here batting. Number 9 position in the order. So I'm going to use Grody unless he comes up with somebody different. I'm sorry, I'm going to use Hodges rather because he's a lefty. Unless he wants to come up with somebody different. Hodges and Grody are the 2 best available from what I can see. Hodges it is. All right. And then we got to figure out in the bottom of the end if you want to use Espinoza or Myrick or Sadecki. But right now against Bruce Sutter, it is Ron Hodges. 3-4, that's the ballpark card going back to Wrigley Field. One, 3, and that's a single pass first base. So base hit for Ron Hodges. And if you want to look and see who the best runners are for pinch runners, because Hodges only runs at a 1, you do have Leo Foster's a 2. Mike Phillips is a 2. Joe Torre's a 1. And Grody's a 2. So there's not a whole lot there. If you want to use a pinch runner, you're only going to gain 1 number. Or you can leave Hodges in there, whichever you prefer. They don't have a whole lot of speed on the bench right now. Leave Hodges. All right. Lee Mazzilli is your batter. Mazzilli is a 5 bunter. So if you want to bunt and try to get the winning run in scoring position or the go-ahead run in scoring position, we can bunt if you like with Mazzilli. He is 0 for 4 in the game. So if you think bunt is a prudent move, we can bunt. You tell me. I'll be more than happy to bunt. He'd end up being a 4 bunter, which is still pretty good. Roll the strategy, okay? That's a 5. That doesn't come up as a bunt. So you're saying since it didn't come up as a bunt, let him swing away. So we will let him swing away. Sutter, 3-2, not tired. That's a blank. Go to Mazzilli. 2-4, and that's a ground ball back to the pitcher. So not going to be a double play. I don't think there's any chance of that because he's a 1 and he's a -1. Plus it goes to the pitcher for another -1. And then the pivot would be the shortstop, the Jesus, who's a -2. So it's impossible to be a double play. They could get a fielder's choice if the die is a 5 or I'm sorry, the run on first is Hodges at a 1. So it's a good chance of a double of a force play rather. It's a 3 that they do get the force play. So Mazzilli reaches on the force. It's going to go 1 to 6 on the fielder's choice. Mazzilli is the runner now. He's got an attempt of 4 to steal, or to get the chance to steal. That's a 3, so he has the option to go if you would like him to try it. He's a 12. Nothing there. The catcher, Mitterwald's a -1. So we'd be looking at a 1 to an 11 if you wanted to try to steal and get him in scoring position with 1 out. Or we can let him be and have Felix Mian bat. But it's in a 1 to an 11 if you want him to steal. Send him. Okay, 1 to 11, Mazzilli's going to go. And he's out with a 20, caught stealing. 2 down. And the chance of rigged are coming from section 518. Here's Mian. 6-6 on Suter. That's a ball 1, so we're going to go straight to Mian's card. 5-3, ground ball back to Suter again, and that's going to end the inning. So now we go to the bottom of the 10th, and the Mets need a pitcher. Who will the Mets choose to be their pitcher? Well, Apodaca pitched a third of an inning, gave up a hit, nothing else. And now the Mets need a new pitcher. And they have either Espinoza, Myrick, or Sadecki. And I'll show the cards for both so you can make your choice. There's Espinoza. And there is Myrick. I know you don't want Sadecki. He's got an ERA of 6. He only pitched 3 innings real world. So we're looking at those two guys. One's a lefty, one's a righty. The Cubs will send 2 righties and 2 lefties in the top 4 order. So Espinoza would get the benefit facing the first 2, but then Myrick would get the benefit of the next 2. So it's up to you. One's a 3-6-1, one's a 3-4-2. Myrick has better endurance to pitch more longer things. All right, we're going to go with Espinoza. So Nino Espinoza. So that leaves Myrick and Sadecki, the only 2 bullpen arms for the Mets. And they'll be facing the top of the order to Jesus, Kleins, and Bittner here in the bottom of the 10th. Espinoza, 6-3 is a blank. We go to DeJesus. 3-3, and that's a fly to right field. 1 away. That'll bring up Kleins. 5-4, and that's an automatic out. And the automatic out will be a fly to right. So 2 fly balls to the right field. 2 down for Larry Bittner. 2-5 is a blank. We go to Bittner's card. 1-3, star 1, ground ball to second. So an easy inning there. We go into the 11th. Still tied at 4. Suter will come back out. Suter faced 3 batters. He can face 7, so he's still in good shape. For the Mets, we have Milner, Vale, and Cranepool due up. Milner, Vale, and Cranepool here in the 11th. My score sheet only goes to 10 innings, so I've got to kind of adjust a little bit. Milner, Vale, and Cranepool against Bruce Suter. 1-1, strikeout, 6. Got him. Milner out on strikes. 1 away for Mike Vale, his first at bat of the game. This is coming in defensively for Kingman. 3-2, and that's a blank. Go to Vale. 6-6, star 4 is ground ball to first. 2 down. And here's Ed Cranepool. 4-3, that's a hit by pitch. He's a 0, though, so no hit by pitch. 1-3, it's ground ball back to Suter, and that's a quick 1-2-3 11th inning for the Mets. Go to the bottom of the 11th. Espinoza back out. And he will be facing Mercer, Morales, and Ontiveros. This is the part of the order that scored the 3 runs in the 9th inning. Mercer, your batter. 6-1, strikeout 3, got him. Mercer out of there. Here's Jerry Morales. 2-2, possible error on a ground ball. 3-5, that is a ground ball to short. Possible error. Harrelson's only a 4, though, but that is a 4. Look at that. That is a 4. It will be a boot by Bud Harrelson. E6 on Bud. E6, Bud Harrelson. He is a 4, and that is a 4. So Harrelson, with that 4 error rating and the 4 on the devil die, puts Morales at first base with 1 out for Steve Ontiveros. Section 518 groans again based on that error. Here's Ontiveros. 5-4, and that's going to be a blank because he's a switch hitter batting left, so he's over on this side. It's a blank. Go to Ontiveros. 6-2 is a single to center field. Let's check the center fielder. Mazzilli has a 0 arm. Base runner Morales only runs at a 2. Single to center goes from first 30. Lose 1 makes him a 1. So the only way he gets there is a 1. But he does get there. How about that? And now Ontiveros has a chance to move up on the throw, but he cannot. So he will hold there. But going to third base with 1 out, that's big. It's going to force the infield to come in. And I forgot to put Steve Swisher in here because Mitterwald got pinch hit for by Wallace. So it's actually going to be Swisher who's coming to the plate. Not a good hitter, but he's there. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Infield is going to have to be in. Hello, Ronnie. Good to see you. Infield is in. Steve Swisher. 5-4, and that is an automatic out. Automatic out, and the automatic out is going to be a ground ball to second. With the infield in, Morales goes to a 0. He cannot score, so the play is to first base. Ontiveros will move up to second. So now second and third with 2 outs, and Manny Trio is the pinch hitter. So obviously that's an intentional walk waiting to happen. His run means nothing, and it forces them to go to either take Suter out or have Suter bat. So they're almost out of options here. Mike Gordon is our last position player. He hits 0.43. So it's almost not even worth bringing him in at 0.43, although he is a switch hitter. He could get something off of the Espinosa card. So Gordon will do the pinch hitting. Bases loaded. Espinosa, I believe, is now tired as well. He is tired, so you may want to go to another pitcher. I don't know because I didn't even catch that he was tired. But yes, he has faced 7 batters. This will be actually 8 batters. This will be number 9 coming up. So he's definitely tired. So I'm thinking he's got to come out of there, and Bob Myrick would be your pitcher. Because if you give up a parentheses, the game's over. But you can let me know for sure just to verify that that's what you want to do. Cubs are out of position players for sure. And they're probably going to use Jim Todd in relief, I'm thinking. Although he's not very good, they might have to go to somebody else. I think they will have to go to somebody else. Either Rinko or Kruko. I'm not sure Kruko, he was a starter most of the time, but he might have been in relief in the beginning of the season. I'll have to double check it. So Myrick is your new pitcher for Espinosa. That leaves Sadecki as the only pitcher left. So the Cubs are running out of position players, and the Mets are running out of pitchers, is basically how it's working here. But Gordon is your pinch hitter. He is a switch hitter. Switch hitter. He only had 23 at-bats all season. Bases are loaded, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 11th. Myrick to Gordon, the pinch hitter. Myrick a lefty, Gordon a switch hitter, batting right-handed. 1-3 is a blank. We go to Gordon. 5-5, fly to left, and we're going to the 12th inning. 12th inning we go. Cubs will need a new pitcher. They're completely out of position players, so they will need a new pitcher. I'm running out of room in my score sheet for sure. Did not plan on this game going this long, obviously. Let's see. Coming in for the Cubbies will be Steve Rinko. He gets sent to the White Sox later on. He'll be coming on now to pitch. Suter went 2 innings and gave up 1 hit and nothing else. Got a strikeout. So Rinko will be facing Stearns, Stager, and Harrelson. Those are the scheduled hitters. Of course, there's lots of guys on the bench that could pinch hit. Right now, we're looking at Stearns, Stager, and Harrelson. (6-1) strikeout. 6 got him. That'll bring up Stager. 3-1, and that's a blank. We go to Stager. 1-2, fly to left, 2 down. 2 down for Buddy Harrelson. 3-3, strikeout 1, got him. So we're going to the bottom of the 12th. Top of the order due up for the Cubbies. It'll be DeJesus. DeJesus, Kleins, and Bentner against Bob Myrick. Myrick can face 8 batters. He only faced 1 so far, so he's in good shape as far as that goes. But he is going to lead off the next inning because there was not a double switch done. 1-3 is a blank. We go to DeJesus. Cubs looking for 11th inning or 12th inning magic. 3-6. That's a single to center. That's a good start. Single for DeJesus. His attempt is a 5. Cannot get the jump. Here's Gene Kleins. Myrick to Kleins. Infield looking for the double play. 3-1. He's not tired. So we go to Kleins. 6-2. Pops it up to third. That's 1 away. Kleins was a terrible bunter, so there was no sense having him bunt. Here's Bentner. 2. I don't know if he... Yeah, DeJesus can get a chance to steal now because that 2 falls into the 4 category. 13 minus 2 is an 11. Stearns is a 0. 1 to 11, DeJesus is going to try to steal second base. And he's caught stealing. So DeJesus caught stealing by Stearns. 2 down. Base is clear for Larry Bentner. (3-3) from Myrick. That's a straight-up home run against a left-hander, but Bentner has 0 home runs against lefties. It's a good thing it's not a cookie-cutter card, or that might have been the ball game because that was a 3. But fortunately for the Mets, this was not a cookie-cutter card, and he gets a 0 there. Don't know why they gave him a 0 there because he always has a chance to hit a home run. That's the rationale I was given. As the cookie-cutter cards, there's always a possibility you could hit a home run, so why give him a 0? But either way, we're going to Bentner. Finish out the at-bat. 6-1 ground ball to second. That's going to end the inning. So we're going to the 13th. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to go because I got things I got to get done in the daytime. So Myrick will have to be pinch hit for because they have nobody else left. I mean, it's his spot in the batting order. So unless you want Myrick to bat, I can bring out the generic Mets pitcher hitting card if you like. But if you use him, then you're down to using Sadecki out of the bullpen. and his 6 ERA, which we could do if you like. Let Myrick bat. Okay, I'm going to go pull the generic pitcher hitting card from the team set. There we go, 145 average. Not bad for a pitcher hitting card. He will hit against Rinko. Will Myrick. 4-3 strikeout. You know he's going to be struck out, so that's a strikeout there. One away from Myrick on the strikeout. That'll bring up Lee Mazzilli. Back to the top of the order. Mazzilli is 0 for 5. 2-1 is a strikeout. 14 is too high. We go to Mazzilli. 4-3, and that's a single to left field for Lee Mazzilli. He gets his first hit of the game, and now his attempt is a 6 because Rinko's a +2. That's 11 and can't get the lead. So that'll bring up Felix Millan. Whoa, Suadice. Let's re-roll that. 2-4, and that's a blank. We go to Millan. 1-4. Power result to left field against right-handers is 1-14. That's a 9. That'll be a double. A double for Felix Millan to left field. Double to left. Mazzilli runs at a 4. The left fielder Kleins is a 0 arm. Double to left, you lose 1. That makes him a 3. It's a 1-3, and the Mets take the lead. And they do. RBI double from Felix Millan, and Mazzilli scores. It's now 5-4 Mets with only 1 out, and Milner, the batter, Millan at second. Milner. 2-1, strikeout 10, too high. We go to Milner. 6-3, and that's a ground ball to short. And we'll see if Millan can take third or not. He can. So Millan does screech over to third base with 2 outs for Mike Vail. Rinko to Vail. 5-3. That is a strikeout chance, and he got him to end the inning. But the Mets get a run, and they take a 5-4 lead into the bottom of the 13th. And this will be the last chance for the Cubbies. It'll be Mercer, Morales, and Ontiveros against Bob Myrick. He can face 8 batters. He has only faced 4, so he's definitely in good shape. He has only faced 4 to this point. Myrick to Mercer, 2-4. That's a walk plus. So that would be a base on balls. This is actually the 13th inning here. So that's a walk to Mercer. So he walks. His attempt is a 4. But he cannot get the lead. So here's Jerry Morales, right-hander. 6-3 is a blank. We go to Morales. 2-6. It's a ground ball to second. Possible double play. He's a 2. 1 makes it a 3. Halfway is a 4. The pivot is the shortstop, Harrelson. He's a 0. 1-4, and we have a double play. We do not. It's a 6. Runner advances. So the only play is to first base. So Mercer goes to second. Mercer runs at a 2, so he's not all that great in the speed category. Steve Ontiveros is your batter. Two, 4 was at the ballpark. Did I miss something? What did I roll here? All right, let me go back. For the Morales at bat. You're saying I rolled a 2-4 and I misread it to be something else? I read 1-4. So you're saying it should have been for Morales' at bat, it should have been a ballpark. I think that's what you're telling me. Is that correct? Can you confirm that? There should have been a ballpark check for Morales. Is that right? Correct. Okay, so we're going to Wrigley Field from Morales at bat. So scratch out the 4-3. We don't know what's going to happen yet. Mercer's still at first base with nobody out. So ballpark card for Morales. 4-6. It's a ground ball to first. We're still looking at the same double play chances. Now, I guess I got to re-roll the double play chances because it's not really fair because I did it incorrectly before. So we'll do it again. Ground balls to first, though, so you don't get that extra boost of the 1. So it's a 2 and a 3. So it's a 1-3. They turn to double play. And they do. So it's going to be a 3-6-3 double play. 2 outs. Wait a minute. You're saying Mercer was the one who I messed up on. Is that what we're saying? Not Morales, but Mercer? Okay, let's redo the whole thing then. I want to get it right. And with the score sheet being what it is, it's going to be a mess. So it's Mercer's at bat on the ballpark card. I'm going to re-roll on that. How about that now? All right, so we're going to Mercer for the ballpark. 3-4, and that is a fly to left. So Mercer's going to fly to the left. So does that fix everything now? Does that make everything the way it should be now? I went back to the ballpark, played Mercer. He flew to the left for the first out. So is everything copacetic? Is everything good to go for Morales' at bat? Okay, Morales is up with 1 out, bases clear. Myrick, 1-6, back to the ballpark card once again. 5-1, ground ball to third, 2 down. Last chance is Ontiveros. 3-4, that's a possible error. 2-6, that's a power result to right field. Against the lefty, it goes to 14. That is a 14. That's a triple with a possible error on top of it. So it is a triple to right field, and we're checking Vail for an error. His error rating's a 5. So it's a triple and then an error check of a 5. So the only way he makes an error is on a 1, 3, or a 5. 20, no errors. So it's just a 2-out triple for Ontiveros. And the Cubs are looking for a 13th inning magic here. A 2-out triple. And that's going to send up Steve Swisher. Myrick trying to finish out this ball game. Let's see how many people he's faced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he is now tired. This is his 9th batter faced, but they have nobody else left, so they're going to have to suck it up. – 3-2, and that's a possible error on a ground ball. Oh, you got it right, Brian. That's for flyouts. You're correct. 6-1, power result to left. It goes to 10. That's a 2. It's a base hit for Swisher, and we got a tie game. Just what I wanted, another tie game here in the 13th. And now here comes Manny Trio. Myrick is tired. – 6-2, and that's a blank to a righty. We go to Trio. 6-5, fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So we're going to the 14th inning. It's already close to noon, so I'm running out of time very quickly. I'll try to play one more inning. That's about as far as I'm going to be able to go with it because time is going to become a factor. I did not count on a 14-inning game. But that's where we are. 14th inning. Rinko back out. He'll be facing Cranepool, Stearns, and Stager due up here in the bottom of the 14th. Mets, if we look at their other pitchers, they can use an emergency starter. Craig Swan does have relief ratings. So Craig Swan is going to be coming in to pitch in the bottom of the inning because he does have an emergency relief rating. So Swan will be the new pitcher for the Mets as they've used everybody. On the bench, they have Phillips, Torrey, Grody, and Foster for pinch hitters. Top of the 14th we go. Cubs have used all their position players, and they've used all their bullpen except for Kruko and Todd. Actually, they do have another lefty, the other Hernandez, Ramon Hernandez, who pitched for Boston, but he's terrible. He got traded to Boston later on, but he's terrible, so I really don't want to use him unless I have no other options. So 1-4 for Rinko, and that's a blank to Cranepool as we start the 14th inning. 6-5 for Cranepool with a liner to second base. That's one away. Stearns. 2-5, strikeout 6, got him. 2 down for Stager. 4-6 is a blank. Go to Stager. 2-2, ground ball to third to end the inning. We're going to the bottom of the 14th. And Craig Swan will be your new pitcher, but there will be a double switch because Swan needs to be able to go for a few innings. So Stager's going to come out, and they're going to need a new third baseman. And the third baseman is going to be who do they want to use? They're going to use Joe Torre, third base. Torre will bat in the 9th position. And the pitcher spot, Swan will come up in the 7th position. That means Swan can go several innings without reaching his pitching spot. Coming out of the game is Roy Stager. He is now out of the game. So Torre is in, Stager is out. And for the Cubs, it'll be the top of the order, DeJesus. I'm sorry, it'll be the pinch hitter for Rinko because the last out was made, or was it? Who made? Yeah, the last out was made by Trio, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. My score sheet is so messed up, I don't even know who did what lately. Trying to remember which. Trying to remember, but my cards are in order where Trio made the last out, but I'm not sure if he did or not. I don't remember Trio batting last inning. See if I can take it back here a little bit and figure it out on the replay. See who did what here. Ontiveros did his thing. Yeah, Trio made the last out, so we are at the pitcher spot in the order. So Rinko, unfortunately, don't have any pinch hitters left. They used everybody. So there's nobody left to pinch hit for the Cubs that's in, unless you want to use a pitcher. Or we can use their generic pitcher hitting card, which looks like that's what they're going to have to do. Unless there's somebody out there that really hits the ball well that they could pinch hit with. They're actually going to use Bill Bonham to pinch hit. He's a starting pitcher, but his hitting card is better than what the pitcher hitting card is. So Bill Bonham is going to pinch hit here in the bottom of the 14th for the Cubbies. Swan, 5-6, strikeout. 15, got him. So Bonham strikes out, start the inning, and here's DeJesus. Or DeJesus, however you want to pronounce it. 5-4 is a strikeout chance. 16, too high. We go to DeJesus. 5-1, ground ball to third, 2 outs. Here's Gene Kleins. 4-6 is a blank. We go to Klein's. 4-2. That's a ground ball back to the pitcher, and that's going to end the inning. So we're going to the 15th inning. Still no score, or still tied, rather, at 5. Due up for the Mets, it'll be Harrelson, Torrey, and Mazzilli. And the new pitcher for the Cubs will be boy, they're just terrible. It'll be Jim Todd. You know he's terrible. We'll bring him in anyway. Jim Todd. He is the pitcher facing Bud Harrelson. 4-5. That's a possible error. 5-6. Ground ball back to Todd, but that's a 20, so there's no error there. 1 away. Here's Joe Torre, his first at bat. 3-3 is a blank. We go to Torre. 4-2. That's a double to right field. Joe Torre with a 1-out double. So Torre's in scoring position for Lee Mazzilli. 5-2 is a blank. Go to Mazzilli. 1-4, and that's a single pass second. But I don't think Torre has the speed. He's only a 1. Single pass second. You got to have a 2 to score. So it's runners on the corners with 1 out for Felix Millan, and the infield's going to have to come in for the Cubbies. That's a 1, but I don't think anybody's going anywhere. I don't believe that Mazzilli would try to steal and risk getting thrown out. So calling off the steal. 3-4 is a walk plus. Millan walks at a, yep, he's going to walk. The bases are now loaded for John Milner. Bases are loaded for Milner. And Todd's going to come out of the game. They will go to Ramon Hernandez, a lefty, to face the lefty Milner. Ramon Hernandez. This should be fun to enter into the Strat computer when the game's over, that's for sure. Bases are loaded, 1 out. Infield is playing in. 3-5, that's a walk plus. That will force in a run. Milner will score. It is now 6-5 Mets. Bases are still loaded with 1 out. Here's Mike Vail. Infield still in. 4-1. Range play at the park, but the infield is in. Range play at the park. 4-6. Ground ball to first. Range of the first baseman Bittner is a 5, but with the infield in, he becomes a 3. He is able to get there. So let's see how we're going to do this with the infield in. Let's see. The lead runner. Lead runner in this case would be Torre. I'm sorry, it would be Mazzilli. He's a 4. So the infield in makes him a 2. So they're going to go for the play at the plate. That's a 5, so they do get the force play, I believe. Not sure on that one, RJL. You have to let me know. Infield was in with the bases loaded. Run rating was a 4 for Mazzilli, but the infield in makes him a 2, and I rolled a 5. Ground ball to first on a range play. Force out at home. That's what I thought. Okay, force out at home. No double play. Force out at home. 2 outs, bases loaded now with 1 run in for Cranepool. Hernandez to Cranepool. 1-5 is a walk chance. 3, he walks him, and that's going to force in another run. It's 2 runs are in. And that brings up John Stearns. 3-2. That's a possible wild pitch, but that's a 20, so no wild pitch. We go to Stearns. I'm sorry, 3-2 is a strikeout. Still doesn't matter. 20 is too high. 6-3 is a single to center field. That's going to score some runs. Millan was the runner at third, so he scores easily. Milner runs at a 3. With 2 outs, it becomes a 4. Single to center. You gain 1, so that makes him actually you gain 2, makes him a 6. Center fielder arm is a +1, so he's going to score automatically. That's 4 runs in the inning for the Mets, and they have batted around. And now we're back to the pitcher spot, Swan. So Swan, I need to get his pitcher hitting card. He has his own pitcher hitting card. But 3 runs are in, so I don't think they care at this point. They have scored 3 runs, so they'll take it. Or it might even be 4 runs. I've lost count. Not that it matters. 4-3, and that is a range play. 6-3, star 1, ground ball to second. We're checking the range of Trio. He's a 3. And he can't get it. Base hit for Swan. That's the 4th run of the inning. And now Bud Harrelson. So this is kind of getting out of hand. Hernandez is tired. Actually, there's no strategy roll anymore with the score being what it is. 4-1, range play at the park. 4-1 again. That's a home run to center field. Of course, he has no power. Well, he has 5 power, but that's a 7. But it's the center field. Morales is a 2. Can't get it. That's going to be a double to center field. I've lost track of who's even on base or what the runs are. It really doesn't matter. The Mets are going to win the game. We're just trying to finish it out at this point. We're at true garbage time at this point. Another range play. 3-2, ground ball to second. We're checking Trio again. He's a 3. He can't get it either. Another base hit. We're just going to keep going. From the ridiculous to the sublime. 3-1's a walk plus, and he will not walk him because it's a 20. Mazzilli, 1-5, finally an out, ground ball to short, finally going to make an out. It's got to be about 6 or 7 runs. Doesn't really matter. Game's pretty much over at this point anyway. Craig Swan's going to come out and just formally end this thing. You would think. It's Bittner, Mercer, and Morales just to finish things out. Six is a walk plus. That's all we need is more walks. Mercer, the batter. 1-1, blank. Go to Mercer. 2-3, fly to right. 1 away. Here's Morales. 1-3, range play. 1-3 again. That's a ground ball back to Swan. He's a 1, though. That's the problem. He can't get it. It's a base hit. Bring up Ontiveros. 4-3, and that is a blank. Go to Ontiveros. 1-2, ground ball to short, possible double play. He's a 2. 1 is a 3. Pivot at second is a 0, but the infield's halfway, makes it a 4. 1-4, the game is mercifully over. And it is, finally, it's over. Yay, even I say yay on that one because the game's finally over. That was exhausting. That was exhausting. The ball game is over. Mets win, and I don't even know what the final score was until I put it in the Strat computer. But it's just a terrible, terrible long game that I did not intend to go that long, but it just happened. But that's going to do it from here. Tonight, assuming I have time, I will be playing the Stratomatic Toronto and Kansas City game. Probably should have stopped this game around the 11th or 12th inning and picked it up tonight, but I kept it going probably by mistake. But, you know, what are you going to do? Anyway, that's going to do it from here. Thank you for all who stood by and stuck with me through all this mess and confusion and whatnot. And it is a happy recap for a certain Mets fan out there in Section 518 for sure. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.